first couple of verses of Genesis says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light." So we have four aspects in this verse that need to be discovered. One is a void. Two is waters, acoustic wave and sound, God's voice, and light. Now, I'm going to read these quotes from this article, "Bursting Dark Energy's Bubble." This is from Nature News. You can read the slide there. Sabir Sarkar, a theoretical physicist at Oxford University, has written a treatise that suggests that dark energy, a mysterious force that seems to be pushing the universe apart, might actually be the result of an enormous bubble of empty space around our galaxy. So the first point we're going to try to discover here is there any evidence of this void anywhere in any of the data that we've collected over the past 150 years? Sabir Sarkar says that the astronomical community has been too quick to accept dark energy, which has continued to defy astronomers' attempts to characterize it. As an alternative hypothesis, he suggests that our galaxy might lie in a huge bubble of comparatively empty space. Not empty space, but comparatively empty space to what is contained inside them. The denser area of space outside this bubble would then pull more material towards it. To an observer inside the bubble, it would seem as though a dark energy-like force was pulling the universe apart. So basically, I'm going to try to draw this here. Our bubble, empty space, and out here is a denser area of the universe. And basically what he's suggesting is this denser area of gravity out here is sort of pulling the universe towards it. And this is what they call gravity. This is his idea. His hypothesis, I should say. Now, Sarkar says that his theory could be easily checked by making more extensive measurements of the Hubble constant, which describes the rate of expansion of the universe. If we are in a low-density bubble, this constant should be unusually large in our vicinity and have a smaller value farther away from us. Okay, now, I kind of want you to get this idea stuck in your head because we're going to come back to this several times throughout this presentation. Okay, so if you kind of drop a stone in a pond, it's going to create these same kind of concentric rings. So you drop a stone here, the first ring is going to be here, the second ring is going to be here, a third ring is going to be out here, so forth and so on. Okay? Everybody get that picture? And in between these dense rings of contraction, you're going to have less dense rings of rarefaction. This is exactly how sound waves move through space, also, in 3 dimensions. Okay. So we'll get back to that. Just hang on to that for a minute. Current measurements of the Hubble constant are variable from one place in the sky to another. But researchers cannot tell if this variation is due to error in the measurements or something real. Now, as we progress throughout this presentation, I'm going to show you that this is actually a real phenomenon that's never been described. In this picture up here, you see layers of different colors. Now, this is from Sloan Digital Sky Survey Team, NASA. Now, the colors here represent different types of galaxies. Notice what you see and what you don't see as NASA has classified them. You see discrete layers of similar galaxies in the pattern of a rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So basically what you're seeing is 7 different layers marked just like this in outer space. All the stars that we've mapped so far fit into this kind of pattern. What you don't see is some random mixture of red galaxies red-colored galaxies, or red-type galaxies in this image. In the ring of blue-type galaxies, you don't see a big mixture of different types of galaxies randomly patterned. What you see is something that's very distinct and ordered. So the implication here is that these galaxy clusters, according to Severe-Sakar, are wrapped in a bubble and sitting in sections of space that are relatively void outside of these bubbles. And this is what you see is the dark spaces in that image up there. You see dense collections of matter, and then you see relatively low dense collections of matter outside. The second point from Genesis verse 1 and 2 was waters. So we just covered the void. There is evidence that there is a void. And this void is relatively low dense space. There's not much matter compared to dense sections of space where there's a lot of matter. The second point in Genesis chapter 1 was waters. So what are these waters if everything was spoken into existence from nothingness, quote unquote? Alright, so this article, Rick scientists serve a perfect liquid. Laboratories, Brookhaven National Laboratories. The 4 detector groups conducting research at the Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider, that's what RHIC stands for, Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider, a giant atom smasher located at the U.S. Department of Energy's Brookhaven National Laboratory, say they have created a new state of hot, dense matter out of the quarks and gluons that are the basic particles of atomic nuclei. But it is a state quite different and even more remarkable than had been predicted. So what they have discovered is something beyond Big Bang Theory, the predictions of Big Bang Theory. In peer-reviewed papers summarizing the first 3 years of RHIC findings, the scientists say that instead of behaving like a gas of free quarks and gluons, as was expected, the matter created in RHIC's heavy ion collisions appeared to be more like a liquid. So in the beginning of the Big Bang, everything would have behaved according to Big Bang predictions like gas in empty space. So gas in empty space fills up the space. It doesn't stay in one spot or one clump. It moves outward to fill the space equally, with equal distance between all gas molecules. Now, once again, the physics research sponsored by the Department of Energy is producing historic results. And Secretary of Energy Samuel Bodman, a trained chemical engineer, said, "The truly stunning finding at RHIC that the new state of matter created in the collisions of gold ions is more like a liquid than a gas gives us a profound insight into the earliest moments of the universe." So what they've done then is created the beginnings of the universe, and they call this a perfect liquid. It's not a gas state, it's a liquid state. And this is kind of ironic because this is exactly what Genesis predicts in its hypothesis in Genesis chapter 1, written 6,000 years ago. Amazing stuff. However, unlike ordinary liquids in which individual molecules move about randomly, the hot matter formed at RHIC seems to move in a pattern that exhibits a high degree of coordination among the particles. This is somewhat like a school of fish that responds as one entity while moving through a changing environment. So basically what they're saying is, it's not a random pattern. This is a very detailed, coherent, cohesion, some kind of intelligence is there, but they don't know how to describe it. Together, these facts present a compelling case. In fact, the degree of collective interaction, rapid thermalization, and extremely low viscosity of the matter being formed at RHIC make this the most nearly perfect liquid ever observed. In results reported earlier, other measurements at RHIC have shown jets of high-energy quarks and gluons being dramatically slowed down as they traverse the hot fireball produced in the collisions. This is going to be a very important point later on. Now remember this. These jets of energy are dramatically slowed down as they traverse through or near this plasma. Because what we're going to see in a moment is that this is exactly what is predicted or called gravity bending of light in outer space. Now, this hot fireball equals a plasma state. This jet quenching demonstrates that the energy density in this new form of matter is extraordinarily high, much higher than can be explained by a medium consisting of ordinary nuclear matter. So it's defying all their predictions and everything that they know about physics. This is something out there. There is something out there at a fundamental level that is not, in other words, ordinary matter, ordinary nuclear matter. This is something completely different than anything physics has studied before. It's not matter, it's something else. Okay. The Big Bang, according now, because of this means that the universe is composed of something that is non-matter. It isn't just matter from a Big Bang explosion anymore. It's composed fundamentally of something that is a liquid state and non-matter. I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like.